Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryan Karavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jada Jada Vibhagoyam Ajade Mai Kalpitaha Nitti Bhage Same Chitra. So there is no coffee break. Nitti and Bhage, it's one word. Gayatri is smiling. I think she also had tried to make this correction, perhaps. Nitti Bhage Same Chitra. Chara Vibhagavat. Time to dispense with all the distinctions. The distinctions come because we are engaging in talking from the standpoint of a variegated or empirical reality. The empirical reality of names and forms, when we discuss, then there is a distinction. And the distinction also is necessary because there is a mix-up. I think I'm Jada. Don't ask how, but that is, if I think I'm as good as the body, then I'm making a mistake. What? I'm insentient, impermanent. If I say I am a mortal, I'm subject to death, I'm afraid of death because I'm subject to death, what am I saying? I'm saying that I am not sentience itself. I'm saying that I am subject to death. Because the body is subject to death, I am saying I am mortal. So this mix-up is there. I who never come to an end, in a kind of a so-called samsarga, association, as though associated with this body, the Chaitanya gets, the Chaitanya associated with the Ahankara avachinna Chaitanya, aka Chidabhasa, gets confused and attaches, identifies with everything that is finite. So therefore, from that standpoint, you have to say to the person, you are sentient. You are not insentient. Stop identifying with everything insentient, because you are not insentient. You have to tell the person again and again and again, this is baby Vedanta. And what is grown-up Vedanta? This is baby Vedanta, then grown-up Vedanta should look different. It can't be the same ABC. Atma Brahmanchit. It cannot be. It has to be something other than that. And so therefore, you switch the standpoint. From the empirical is a point of view. And what is the view? The view is that there is no empirical reality. All that is there is you. You are the only reality. There is nothing other than you. You don't come to an end. You never had a beginning. You are sentient, you can say, but then it's a relative term. Sentient, insentient. It becomes a relative term. So although it is not incorrect to say, I am sentient, in me alone, in me as though alone, this distinction between sentient and insentient takes place. What kind of a me? Insentient me. No. Sentient me. In the sentient I, that is this distinction between sentience and insentience takes place, as it were. So what is the use? See, for somebody who doesn't have this distinction, what is the use of saying you are not sentient, because that person knows that. And so this is, so in a way, this grown up Vedanta here, let's go of even this distinction between the sentient world and the insentient world. When the world itself is in question, what kind of a world it is, then that is again another question. The world is not an entity separate from I, consciousness. Just like the dream world is not an entity separate from my own knowledge, my own memory, my own desire. The dream is not different. And so then the world also is an extension of myself. It's a dependent reality. And if it's a dependent reality, the more you allow the I to pervade, the I, which is Satchidanandam Brahma, is Sukshma, subtle. And the world is what? Sthula. Sthula means what? Gross, pun intended, So, therefore, what is the logic? That which is subtle pervades that which is gross. So my I consciousness, I as consciousness pervades the whole world of name and form. So that I don't make this, there is a certain kind of hubris in saying, I am sentient, this microphone is not, this computer is not. What is the use of saying that? Sarvam, that's why the Upanishad takes us to the Mahavakya, where it says, Sarvam khalu idam Brahma. Isha idam sarvam. All that is here is pervaded by Ishvara. What is Ishvara? You, the sentient consciousness. Sarvam khalu idam Brahma. That all that is here is indeed nothing but Brahman. And all includes this sentient, insentient distinction. And then, after having explained this, then the question arises, how can the sentient and insentient coexist? How can there be coexistence of the insentient with what? The sentient. How can sentience in the form of Satchidananda brook insentience? Isn't it opposed to insentience? It should be opposed to insentience. So how can it coexist? So for that kind of a question, we just have to, what should I say, look at the hair, if one has hair, and the nails. Nails are sentient or insentient? Yes. Insentient. Hair also is insentient. That's why getting a haircut is not a hair-raising event. So, because I don't even feel it. It's insentient. I can come home, nothing happens. I don't need a balm afterwards for the hair. I don't need a balm to be able to feel better. Oh, the hair has had surgery. No such thing. Sentient. So along with the world of the insentient world and the sentient world, the sentient I are not two things coexisting. Yes, we have to understand. That is just a reasoning given. Just like you are sentient or not, yes. And so you have nails which are insentient. That's just an example to assimilate this. But really, this I as sentience itself it does not have an opposite. It has nothing that is opposite. So insentience really cannot touch it. Why? Because the whole world of names and forms is blessed by the sentience. Huh? I am Satchidananda. Body is what? Satchidananda. Mind is Satchidananda. Rock is Satchidananda. Tree, Satchidananda. Table, Satchidananda. Chair, Satchidananda. Satchidananda, Satchidananda. What is Satchidananda? Brahman. Table Brahman, chair Brahman, mountain Brahman, rock Brahman, tree Brahman, air Brahman, water Brahman, fire Brahman, space Brahman, sky Brahman, everything Brahman. I Brahman. So there is an embracing of everything as me. So if I've already taken something as me, then there is no separation. Then I don't need to say me and not me, because there is nothing not me. The not has been swallowed up. K-N-O-T also. It's a naughty problem. Pun intended. It's a very, Ajnanam is a very naughty problem. And this ignorance in the Mundakopanishad is seen as a knot in the heart, like a constriction caused by the duality which actually a person cannot brook. One wants this oneness more than everything else, more than anything else. One wants this oneness so badly, one is yearning for it even in the dream. And so, and what is the teaching? The teaching is you are already one with everything. Everything is sentient. Everything is Sachidan. Even to make this distinction, it is just for a pedagogical tool. It's like dissecting a frog or anything. So when you dissect a frog, you show whatever the sad for the frog, but nonetheless, you highlight certain things. You highlight the circulatory system. You highlight this. So this is just a certain kind of a intellectual dissection between the what is called sentient and insentient, because there is a mix-up, and the mix-up results in sorrow. So in order to clear up the mix-up, the separation is done, but once the mix-up is cleared up, then the vision is that of no separation. So the question of how can the sentient and insentient coexist does not arise, because there is no such thing called insentient anymore. Everything is sentience alone. Then why does the rock not talk? Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body, is not there. Sentience is latent in the rock. That sentience is latent in the rock. The sentience is solid in a rock. And then what else? It sways in a tree. It blows in the wind, complains in the human being. That's what the sentience does. Jiva. That's what. So it's sentience in the form of a rock, sentience in the form of a tree. We don't say rock is sentient. It is sentience in the form, abiding as it were, in the form of a rock, in the form of a tree, in the form of various bodies. And so, nothing is insentient. What insentience is there? The person of knowledge sees everything as alive. Ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam sings. What does that mean? I am the food, I am the food, I am the food. Oh my God, somebody will eat you up. Somebody will make a 1-course, 2-course meal out of you. Ahamannado, hamannado, hamannadah. No, they won't, because I am the food and I am the eater of the food as well. That's a very intelligent statement. There's no separation, there's no distinction. Because if I was only, if Brahman is only food, then what happens? My mouth becomes bigger, more pervasive. My stomach becomes My stomach has the digestive power to digest Brahman. Then we are in a soup here. We are in a very difficult predicament. So therefore we say, ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam. Why is it repeated? Because the jnani is mad, slightly. Yes. Slightly mad. Meaning nobody else understands. In the Brahma Sutra also it is given. How should be the deportment, the comportment of the person of knowledge? Says, like a child, whimsical, but innocent and loving, spontaneous. So that's what the jnani is. And so the jnani sings in the streets. Ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam. I'm non-separate from the food. I'm one with the food. This is before eating, not after eating. Okay. After eating, I can also say ahamannam. I become one with the food. Even before eating, as soon as the person sees the food, ahamannam, ahamannam, ahamannam. But this is a statement of knowledge, not ignorance. Ahamannado, ahamannado, ahamannadaha. Annam atti iti annadaha. The one that eats. The eater of the food also I am. See, so there is no sentient. The food is what? Sentient or insentient?
But this
Now everybody is confused. Thoroughly. Technically, the food is what? Insentient. But here that distinction is gone. When he says or she says, Aham annam, that means that I am sentient, so is the food. And the eater of the food, I am the food, there is no separation. And then, so this jada jada vibhagaha, this separation is mayi kalpitaha. Ajade mayi kalpitaha. In me, the source of sentience, this was crafted, kalpitaha. Why was it crafted? So that I could understand and assimilate this truth. Vedanta is full of very interesting paradoxes. You divide and you separate in order to unite. And why do you separate? Because there is a mix-up. What kind of a mix-up? Between me and not me. How can there be a mix-up between Jada and Chetana? What is the what is the description of that which is insentient? It needs somebody else to be for it to be cognized. That's the main thing. And what is the sentient? The sentient is self-cognized, self-evident, self-luminous. And the whole world of objects subject to coming to an end. I, the source of sentience, sentience personified, does not end. Satchidananda. And the world of objects, not I. This sentience is claimed as I. So how can the two get mixed up? Adi Shankara says by some magic. We do not know. Yadyapi, even though this mix-up cannot happen between idam pratyaya gochara, that which is a product of this cognition, like this flower, this table, this microphone, this body, this mind, and aham pratyaya vishaya. Aham pratyaya vishaya means the subject matter of I cognition. There's only one thing that qualifies for I cognition. The world of this cognition is many. And this cognition has nothing in common with the product of I cognition. The products of this cognition have zero commonality with the products of I cognition, with the subject matter which refers to the I cognition. Yet there is a mix-up. As soon as we talk about transactions, activity, the mix-up happens. And so, for that mix-up to be gone, we make an interim, temporary distinction. Temporary distinction, there is a world of jada. Jada means inert, the inert world. And I, the observer of the sentient world, can never be one and the same. Once I understand that, I don't need to do this distinction. Everything is me. So, and the example that's given is very nice. It's like they didn't have movies in those days, poor things. And then they didn't have any, so he he uses murals. Murals, what are they called? Yeah. So on the surface of the compound walls, even in now in rural India, you have nice designs people make. There is a whole world in those designs. There are parrots flying, and then there is people winnowing it's all rural life, winnowing the grain, standing there in the fields. There are women harvesting the grain. There are people who are going to temples. There's also a temple there in the drawing. There are little children, there are elderly people. And then there is water, trees, sun, mountains. So there, if you take a child and point to this painting on the wall, you say, see, that's a bird. It flies, it moves. This is a mountain, it doesn't move. How can the same wall show both the moving and the non-moving things? That is his question. Bhitti, Bhitti bhage means on the side of the wall, on the surface of the wall. Bhitti is wall. Bhitti bhage same chitram. The same photo, not photo, what is it called? Painting. The same wall painting shows moving objects and non-moving objects. It portrays the moving and the non-moving objects, while itself being the source of both without becoming any one thing. So too, the Atma, which is sentience itself, supports this distinction of sentience and insentience at the mithya level for a certain purpose, without really that being true. Vitti bhage same chitram charachara vibhagavat. So this is mithya. That something is moving is mithya, and or something is still, that is also mithya. Not only that, the world of insentient things or sentient or move. Sorry, here we have to change a little bit because the next line is moving and non-moving. So from sentient and insentient, he goes to moving and non-moving, another way to do this. So the world of moving things cannot impact me. Go back to the examples we saw earlier. Like if a house catches on fire, where? Movie house. Am I affected? No. Even though I'm sitting close to the screen, I'm not affected. If there is a flood in the movie, I don't get wet. Thank God. So this way, I see that I'm able to sustain this whole world, like the picture on the wall. I'm able to sustain this whole world of Jada, Chetana, everything, because I transcend these distinctions. Vitti bhage same chitram charachara vibhagavat. That is verse number 19. Then, now, another topic change alert. From verse number 20 to 27, he is doing a summation. What's a summation? A summation is like a simhavalokanam. Simhavalokanam means the lion, having killed an animal, eats its share, apparently, goes away, and then looks back and says, I really killed that thing, yes. Feels good about itself. So this is a kind of a look back and a reiteration of whatever we have studied, because he's getting ready to summarize this. So 20 to 27, we are going back to Satchidananda and all the ways in which Atma is Satchidananda. And the Swarupa Lakshana is going to be highlighted in these verses. Chetyo paraga rupa me sakshita pinatattviki upalakshanameveyam Ranga Nistaranga Chidambudhe. Together. Chetyo Varagarupa Sashita Chidambudhe. Hey. Yeah. Can't swallow up the Visarga. Chetana, sentience. Chetru, Cheta, the one that makes everything, that one that lends the sentiency to everything else. Chetya, that which is lit up by my sentience. Chetana yogya chetya, yat pratyaya, chetya, that which is worthy of being illumined, meaning objects, chetya. Uparaga means dependent upon. So the Chaitya, the world of Chaitya, the world of objects, is dependent upon me to be illumined. That's why the word Chaitya is used. Very nice word. Chaitya Uparaga Rupa me. The world of Chaitya is dependent upon me. Uparaga. There is a certain connection to me. And what kind of a connection? Illuminer, illumined connection. I am the agent of illumination and everything else is illumined. I am like the sun. So when the sun rises, it illumines everything. If in the sunlight, let's say, in one place, some people are doing meditation or qigong or something nice, very nice, dharmic, minding their own business, praying, doing yoga, doing something nice. The sun is shining on them, blessing, presence. This is underneath tree number 1. Okay. Underneath tree number 2, a group of robbers is planning a heist. I used to work in that bank. I know the ins and out. And they're very lackadaisical about security. I think I have an insider too. We need a little bribe to oil him. And we can do this. Does the sun get very offended and withdraw the light? I'm not going to let them do this. The sun shines there also. Without any displeasure, it shines. It just illumines everything, including ignorance. Dharma, it illumines. Adharma, it illumines. Ignorance also, it illumines, which is what brings us to this knowledge. Which is why we say, Upanishad, where are you? That's why we go to the teacher. That's why we find how to study. Because I cannot stand my ignorance. If you did not know that there was ignorance, you would not be able to say, I can't stand my ignorance. You are painfully aware of ignorance and you want it gone. So this Chetana is what? Includes in its purview, the Chaitya is everything. Whatever is opposed, whatever is dharmic, all these pairs of opposites, it transcends. Good, bad. Good, bad means for who? Rain is bad for some people. Yeah. One person prayed, let there not be rain today. Why? Because I'm having a party outside. Oh Lord, let it not rain. The other one was a farmer. let it rain. So is rain good or is rain bad? Yeah, it's just it's a very skewed question. And good, bad, Shita, Ushna, hot, cold, Sukha, Dukha, happiness, sorrow, the alternating cycles of happiness, sorrow. Object-based happiness, not the subject-centered happiness, but the object-based happiness and sorrow. They say alternating cycles. It's not alternating cycles. Then it would be very bearable. Pujya Swamiji used to say, it's not first is Sukha, then what? Dukha. Then what? Sukha. Then what? Dukkha. If it is like this, then life is a piece of cake. Yes. With icing. Yeah. Because when Sukha comes, what will happen? Dukkha will come. And when I am in Dukkha, then what is the next thing that comes? Sukha. So first I am Dukhi. Doesn't matter. Next I'll be what? Dukhi means what? Pujya Swamiji used to say. That's not how it works. It's Dukhi. It's okay. Dukhi. It's okay. It's not alternating cycles of joy and sorrow. They just lie. Yeah. It's not alternating cycles at all. So therefore, this verse is important because it shows us how to not get stuck in the dyads, in the binary distinctions of opposites. Hot, cold, sad, happy. What else is there? Good, bad, dharmic, adharmic. So many adharmic people. Let them be adharmic. You be like the sunlight. Bhagavan has promised, I'll come and take care of them. Let that happen. Oh, I don't know when Bhagavan will come. Doesn't matter. That's why Bhagavan has put local law and order personnel. Let them take care of it. Eventually, they'll do a misstep. Naturally. There will always be, see, the thing is, there is a hubris there. Even the robber that gets away with it has a certain, I cheated the law, that feeling of accomplishment is like the sculptor. This was one of the last stories Pujya Swamiji told before he passed away, before Mahasamadhi. He told the story of of course, appropriately speaking, Yamaraja, the Lord Yama features in this because he knew he was close to the end. So he's told the story, I forgot in what context, but he told the story of this man who was a very talented sculptor. And then he was told that his time was near. And the minions of Yama, called Yamadutas, messengers of Yama, were coming to get him. What to do? Before the appointed time, he had some time, maybe 2-3 months he had notice. He was told, your time is up, in 2-3 months we'll come and get you. The messengers sent him an SMS. And he said, oh my God, what should I do? The only thing he knew was what? Sculpting. So he made 9 sculptures of himself. And then on the appointed, he arranged them nicely on a platform. On the appointed day, he also went in there and stood like The Yamadutas were confused. They said, "What? Get out of here. What is this? I can't see this. Who is this? Which is Jada? Which is Chetana? I can't see here." And the Yamadutas were given strict instruction. If they carried a sculpture, that means what? He has cheated death. So if they cannot take the wrong thing, they have to take the right thing. So they circled slowly all the 9 sculptures. They looked closely. He didn't even blink. Stood like this, along with the other sculptures. And they said, okay, I think that we have to get the big man for this job. We cannot do this job. We have to get the boss. So they went and told Lord Yama, we don't know. We can't make out. Looks like you have met your match here. Yama said, nonsense. Nonsense. You don't know the human race. So then he went. Same thing. Not even blinking. Yama also did the same thing and circled. Yama also had no clue. Who is this? Which one is it? Not that Yama was more discerning and he could tell. That fellow was so good at what he did. So lifelike were his sculptures that nobody could, even Lord Yama could not tell. But Lord Yama had his wits around him. And Lord Yama loudly, as he was encircling the sculptures, and this man there started to say, "Aha, this kind of a sculptor I have never seen in my whole life." See, everybody knows where this story is going. What finesse, what sukshmata, what subtlety. Look at these strokes, look at the coloring, look at the pose, look at the proportion of the arms and legs. OMG, this is such a wonderful set of sculptures. Too bad I cannot compliment the sculptor in person. The sculptor could not stand. It's me. I made it. I made it. Come along, boy. Yes. Come with me. Come with me. Your time is up. So, so this is the Jada Vibhaga. And then Chaitya Rupa and Chetana itself. Very nice. Chaitya, the whole world of Chaitya, the whole world of that is to be cognized will have all these opposites. And what do? Transcend the opposites. And that transcendence is talked about here because that transcendence is not physical, it's what? Cognitive. It's a cognitive transcendence. And then the final frontier of duality is the status of witness. The Vedanta teacher goes blue in the face, trying to drill this concept of witness in the beginning. Who are you, Sakshi? Observe your feeling, observe the body, observe the mind, observe the senses. I'm saying that even in my sleep. And then what? Oof, even that is a temporary status. Chaitya, that which is witnessed. Chaitra is the witnesser, witness. So between the witness and the witnessed, isn't there a dyad there? Isn't there a binary opposition? Yes. That too has to go now. When we talk of oneness, when we talk of no distinctions, this is again upalakshanameva. Next line says, Upalakshana means it is a figurative pedagogical tool. Iyam. Iyam. Iyam what? Sakshita. Iyam Sakshita. Iyam Sakshita means this witnessing, this status of being the witness. Iyam Sakshita. Na Tatviki. Tatviki means permanent, based on the Tattva. Iyam Sakshita. Na Tatviki. This is not permanent. The witnessing is there when? When there is something to be witnessed which is other than I. What are we saying now? Everything is I alone. Everything is I. So what is there? Nothing is there. Nothing is there other than me. And so I also don't exist if I'm not the witness. No, you exist. The nature of that existence is such that you don't need something else in order to exist, including that subtle distinction between witness and the witnessed. In the beginning, it's useful because there is a mix-up. I have to tell to myself that whatever I witnessed is not I. I have, whatever is the object which is witnessed is not I. And what am I? Subject. I have to keep saying that. But that is not the end here. That also has to wrap up. But what if I'm not there? If I don't witness, then maybe I don't exist. No, you are there. How do you know I am there? And very nice, this thing is given. Ambudhi. Ambudhi means like a body of water is called Ambudhi. Ambudhi, ocean. Like a placid lake, ocean. This taranga. The taranga, the waves, a waveless pond, lake, ocean. A placid, tranquil lake without any disturbance. When the air blows over the body of water, there are certain ripples, waves. Here, there is nothing. So if you can imagine that, if you can imagine a placid lake without any disturbance, without anything other than it itself. It is fullness itself. It doesn't need anything. It is neither the witness nor is it witnessed, but it is not outside of that. The witness is included in it and the witnessed is also included in it, but it doesn't need this distinction in order to be completely itself. And what is it? It is beyond description, really. Beyond description. Remember the signpost, which says restaurant. You don't break off the signpost and eat it. You go that way. So here also, all these are indications. Don't go away with the idea, I'm a waveless ocean. That's not the idea. It's an example. Upalakshana. Nistaranga chidambudhi. An ocean of sentiency, which includes and transcends the insentient as well. The sentient, insentient distinction is also not there. It's that kind of a sentiency which cannot even be objectified, which can only be indicated and pointed at, and then what it is pointing at is me. And who is this I? Self-evident I. So therefore, if I point to an object, you have to go there, look at the object, get the object. That object is away from you. As long as the object is away from you, there is sorrow. And once the object comes to you, there is happiness. But before that, somebody else snatches it and goes away again. There is dukkha. This is what happens. Here, all that is not there. Here, this I is just, all I have to do is indicate. Lakshyartha, upalakshana. So the lakshyartha, the indicatory words You are like a full ocean without waves. The personification, the embodiment of tranquility itself. There is no source of disturbance. Sometimes there is what is that? There is a swamp. And inside the swamp, there is some kind of a heat and humidity will be there. And so it will come up with some bubbles, muddy bubbles. That is a disturbance from within. This doesn't have any disturbance from within because first of all, there is no within without. And there is no disturbance out from outside. Why? Because there's no other agent of disturbing or pleasing agent other than itself is not there. There's a total absence of anything else other than itself. So it cannot be disturbed from outside. It cannot be disturbed from within. And it cannot be disturbed and get destroyed in time. We've seen all this. This is a very nice summation from a different angle. We saw all this from the standpoint of I. Now we are seeing it from the standpoint of Brahman, which is really I only. But we are not really bothered about separating the body, mind, sense complex anymore because that has already been done. It has been finished, done. And so here, very beautiful. Nistaranga Chidam Hrudehe. In this, for this I, who is like a placid lake without undisturbed placid lake. Undisturbed by what? Duality. Don't think that this text is denying the Jagat. If we come to that conclusion, then we will be selling this text short. We will not be understanding its nuances. It's a very beautiful, layered text. We are not denying the Jagat because we don't need to deny the Jagat. Why? The Jagat denies itself. Because it ceases to matter. It does not exist for my validation. I do not use it for my validation. I do not use it for my entertainment because I'm bored or tired. I do not use the objects in the Jagat to complete myself. I do not also use the objects in the Jagat in order to become something or the other. I do not run after the objects in the Jagat thinking that they will validate me. I do not run away from the objects in the Jagat because I am afraid of them. No, no give and take exists. The Jagat has finished its work where the I, even the embodied I is concerned. Even the body is a plus. The mind is a plus. Thank God I have a body because I can sit. Thank God I have a mind. I can listen. I can talk. Everything is a plus, a value added plus to this sentience, to this Satchidanandam Brahma. It is a value added plus which makes not even the slightest difference to this I. I plus body is still what? I. I minus body is still I. Except I won't be able to say it because the body is not there. And certain things don't need to be said really. And so, very beautiful. Nistaranga Chit Ambudhi. Chit, oceanesque Chit. Chit means sentience. An ocean of sentience, oceanic sentience, without any possibility of disturbance. So what is this Jagat? It is there. In fact, the word Jagat is coming from a duplication of the gam dhatu, to go, as I said. That which mostly goes. Goes out of what? Ceases to matter. That's what it is. You don't have to deny the Jagat. It just ceases to matter. When the I is totally known, let the Jagat be there. You don't go trying to destroy the duality. You don't need to. There is no pressure to destroy the duality at all. Let it be there. It will just become like that tapestry we saw. There is my life there, and there is somebody else's life there, and there is all these intersecting karmas there. There is a small little Gurukula there, and everybody is going there. And so, this is the tapestry. If I understand that this is a work of art, it's wonderful. Look at that. There is a sun there. Let's put all the celestial bodies. There's a moon there. Stars are there. Clouds are there. Everything is there. I can admire this tapestry. I can say, oh, whoever did this, she is a genius. And yes, she is. Her name is Maya. She's the author. She has signed her name with a flourish. Maya. Magic. Magic tapestry. And the moment I enter into it, there are some movies also like that where you become you enter into the television or something. Some advertisement I saw. These two characters were looking at something on TV, and they said, "Oh, how nice that is!" And now we are here, and how nice that show is. They went off into the show. And they must have found it's not that nice after all. I don't know. I just saw the advertisement. I don't know the show. Whether it was a show or movie also, I don't know. So if you identify with the tapestry, then it's no longer a tapestry, it's a travesty. Yeah. For the tapestry, which is a work of art, Ishvara's art, the whole Jagat is Ishvara's art. It's so beautiful. It's very nice. It never ceases to amaze. Every day there is something new. You look at the same mountains, you look at the same water, you look at the same sun, there is something different. I find this in Rishikesh. I go outside for the walk. Every day it's the way the sun hits, the way the river flows, and sometimes she's green, sometimes she's blue, sometimes muddy during the rainy season. It's just fascinating. And so that is what the Jagat is. The Jagat is Ishvara. We are not saying the Jagat does not exist, but we are questioning the nature of that existence is not the same as I, the observer. This is the beginning. And towards the end of the text, towards the end of the study, we say that the observer-observed distinction also has to come wrap up. Why? Because that which is observed is non-separate from me. And who is this I? A disturbance-free, placid lake. Lake, like consciousness. So the Jagat ceases to disturb me. That is how I know I'm making progress in this knowledge. Before, I was disturbed by the Jagat several times a day. In fact, I had to be propped up by everybody. I would have, what is that called? Melt down. Yes. Can't handle this one, can't handle that one. And it's all your fault. The finger would be moving everywhere. Agatha Christie wrote one novel, The Moving Finger, like that. So, yeah, so the blaming finger, the index finger keeps moving, 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 moving. Never ceases to stop and point. If you were not in my life, it would have been so much better. Really? No. To be truthful, if you were not in my life, I would find fault with someone else. That's all I need to do. Full transparency. If you were not in my life, I would simply complain about somebody else. That's all it is. If no one was in my life, I would complain about myself. That's all it is. So, the Jagat ceases to be, Jagat starting with one's own body, mind, sense complex, ceases to be an object of complaint, ceases to be an object of discontent. In a way, it simply is. It is Brahman, it is non-separate from me, because I have stopped transacting with it. This is the beauty of it. That's why there is no witness, what is that? Witnessed distinction. That's why there is no Cheta, Chetra, Chaitya distinction. Pramata, Prameya, no known distinction is not there. Jnata, Jnaya, same thing. The one who knows and the agent of knowledge and the object of knowledge, these distinctions are not there because it is the Jagat. I'm not mining the Jagat for things that I want. Why? Because I'm a full oceanic consciousness, completely, totally contented. Apuryamanam achala pratishtham. Samudram apah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamaha pravishanti sarve sashantimapnoti nakama kami. Bhagavad Gita, second chapter towards the end. The Jnani, the person of knowledge, the one who is who understands their own nature, is talked about as an ocean. Just like the ocean is greeted by the entry of many rivers. And when the rivers enter the ocean does not get elated. And if the river decides to dry up for whatever reason, climate change, and then does not enter the ocean doesn't have a fit. The ocean is ocean. So the rivers are like objects of desire. All the objects of desire. Kama is not only desire, but here it's objects of desire. All the objects of desire enter the Jnani like the waters of various rivers entering the ocean. When the waters of various rivers entering the ocean, is there a difference in the ocean? No. Before what it was? Full. Now what it is? Full. And that is what is called Shanti. That is what is called Moksha. Let us make sure we've seen every word here. Chaitya uparaga rupa me sakshita api na tatviki. The sakshita also is not permanent. And then, therefore, what? Upalakshanam eva iyam. Iyam upalakshanam. This is simply this witnesshood or the status of being witness is just a temporary placeholder, a pedagogical device to be able to understand myself. Upalakshana. It's a temporary placeholder for me who is what? A full ocean, waveless ocean, undisturbed ocean of consciousness. More we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Are there any questions? No. Okay.